Did it start?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
So what we're talking about?
We're doing Coming to America 2 review. Ha!
Hello everyone. My name is Elijah /Play Kelly, and this is my wife,
Sonora Kelly.
Don't be acting shy. She had to shy on camera. I don't know why she had to shy, because she is not shy at all. But
I'm not a camera person, but I really want to do this review with my husband, so.
And of course, you can see our beautiful son here, Dallas Kelly. So our newborn. He won't let us do it without him. So we definitely had to put him in here because he would not let us. Literally, wouldn't let us do it. So I think it's a movie that people should go and see, regardless of it's good or not to us. Everybody from our culture needs to see it. It's a movie that you got to see. Like your black card will be revoked if you just don't see it, man. You have to see it. And we're gonna start off with the dislikes and the likes that we have for the movie. Dislikes first.
The first thing is casting.
So they have a lot of characters in the movie.
And most of our casting issues are the new people in the movie.
Yeah.
Not the old guard. So, for instance, I'm just going to name some of the new characters, but these are not all the people we have issues with. Some of these people are totally fine.
Yeah,
we love them in the movie.
Yeah.
But some of them, not so much. So, like, we have Tiana Taylor. She plays the daughter of Wesley Snipes. And Wesley Snipes is the commander of, I think, the army, or he's commander of the army of a different area other than Zamunda.
Yeah, other than Zamunda.
So I don't know his particular name of. They do mention it, but I forgot the name of it. So like Wesley Snipes, Tiana Taylor, Leslie Jones. She's the mother of the prince
that plays the prince under
Prince
Eddie
of Kings,
Murphy.
yeah, son.
Yeah.
So his name is
Lavelle.
Jeremiah. His real name is Jeremiah.
Jermaine Flowers.
Oh, his real name is Jermaine Flowers. Excuse me. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
And then we have Tracy Morgan is a new character as well, and he is the uncle of the new prince that's found. And then we have various small roles that would like people like literally make 2-minute guest appearances. Yeah. So like Rick Ross was a guest appearance.
Michael Blackson,
yep. Then we have some singers like Salt and Pepper that appear for a short amount of time.
And
Gladys Knight appeared for a short amount of time.
I think that was it as far as like the small time people.
Yeah. So of the small roles, of all of the new roles, the issues that we had with casting lies first and foremost with the new prince.
Yeah, I agree, because I think that like my wife said, they didn't take his part seriously. His part should have been more dominant and more serious, where he played a role that was more comical. Showed him like he was unemployed, which I think me and my wife both agree. We think that he should have been at least in college or some kind of scholar.
Exactly.
I think
he is a 31-year-old man in this movie. So even if he wasn't like in college, and we know that you can finish college at any age, so he could have been doing his master's or his doctorate degree, whatever. Or he could have had a trade in something. He could have owned his own business. Just something to show that he was a successful young man. And he had actually, done his due diligence and was a contributing part of society or whatnot. So I didn't like that they depicted him as an African American man that was basically down on his luck and couldn't hold a job, pretty much. Yeah. Especially, you're 31, you're grown. 30 in your 30s, you are grown.
Daddy, I'm grown. I'm a daddy. I'm grown. Stop being your chest, you make me.
You should have basically, because also it showed that he lived with his mom, so he wasn't even independent in the way where he could actually care for himself. Another issue that I personally had is I wanted him to be similar to how Prince Akeem was in the first Coming to America movie.
Yeah.
And that he was, like I said, confident. He was commanding. He, he was cultured. He was, not just street smart. That's kind of how they depicted the new one, the new Prince. That he was street smart, but that he was also intelligent when it came to the different, like book smart as well as street smart. So Prince Akeem was both of them, because we saw in the first movie that he was able to basically, come on baby, our baby's doing a lot right now, but that he was basically able to like stop a whole robbery.
Yeah, like the points like that made that character strong. It just this character that they have now, the new Prince, was kind of limited, in my opinion. Tell them who we think should have been the person for that one, though.
Yeah, well, the person, and we were thinking the same thing. We didn't even actually like verbalize it. We were just thinking it, and then I said it out loud. My husband was like, "I'm thinking the same thing," and so. Okay, we've all seen Black Panther.
Yeah.
We all know the Black Panther's arch nemesis for that particular movie. So we felt like that Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
Would have been like an awesome Prince.
I think he would have been really good for that role.
Really good. Just because, like we said before, he would have encompassed everything that Eddie Murphy was in 1988. And brought that to this movie. He would have brought this strength. He would have brought this, I guess like, I don't know. It's like, the certain swag that the Prince should have or whatnot.
Then they had Wesley Snipes. He was playing the General Izzy.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Izzy.
Y'all know Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes is like awesome.
He is.
He is a wonderful actor. He has been in so many action movies. Like, what? He's played in romantic movies as well. Like, but he's always, most of his roles have been serious roles.
Yeah.
It has been a couple movies where he's had like a little bit of comedy in there. But this whole entire movie, Wesley Snipes, was comical. The whole entire movie. And I was like, why wouldn't they let Wesley Snipes be Wesley Snipes and throw a little comedy on top of what he already does the best?
And what they could have implemented, because Wesley Snipes plays in so many action movies, they could have included a little action scenes where they had him going back and forth with them, which they did have one action scene, but it was with the kids, and it was kind of like, okay, this you're making the more family friendly. I understand that.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing about it is, I'm sorry, but
no,
I'm gonna cut you off. But in the 1988 movie Coming to America, listen, we were all kids, and we saw the whole movie.
We saw.
The whole
yes, we did.
Movie. All the breasts and everything else. We were sitting there looking like
your wall is clean. Your highness.
Exactly. It's just like, I don't think that the things that we were exposed to as far as the first Coming to America, as we were kids, will be harmful to this generation. So I think they could have been a little bit more, they could have like PG-13, like something like that, because I just think it was just, I don't know, I feel like they could have did a little bit more with Wesley Snipes' character, and sometimes that does require him to come out of the PG zone.
Yeah. For
Wesley Snipes to be the Wesley Snipes that we know of. One thing we did forget that I mentioned earlier was Wesley Snipes' army. And, that's a whole bunch of people. So we couldn't just say like one character. Now, as we just mentioned before, it was multiple naked women. I say naked because, of course, I have a nephew. He uses that word. And so it was multiple naked women in that movie. And to me, it just kind of showed like I don't know, if you're going to have one movie, the first movie that's going to basically show women in a sexualized manner, even though they showed like women in multiple facets. They show, royalty, they show just the beauty of women, etc., etc. I didn't, take offense to it at all. I think they should have did something similar in this movie right here, the 2021 movie, where they showed just fine melanated brothers, pretty much, and representing it as the armed forces behind Wesley Snipes. But it kind of had them. It was kind of they kind of made it comical again, where they made them seem like a overdone fraternity step team.
Yeah, it was
so instead of them being I don't know, admiring them and their strength as black men and them just, being nice to look at, it just became they coming here doing a whole two-step show.
The joke was coming up. I'm like, what is going on? They turned into what's the name of the movie with the fraternity?
Oh my gosh, I forgot, babe. I forgot what the movie is.
Well, I thought I was watching that for a second. I was like, what's going on? Why are they doing all this?
Yeah, so I think it was made to be more comical because even when they cut to the army scene, they had them playing the Dance Dance Revolution dance game, and they and then they had Wesley Snipes talking to the kids and talking about go play with grenades now or something like that. I was like, wow. So I don't know. I just think they could have did better with the depiction of the army in that case. Make the men look like what we know African American men are, strong and formidable or whatnot. But it was another. I think they made the second Coming to America all about comedy.
I mean, I agree with Charlamagne. Charlamagne always say too much of anything is just too much, and they just had too much comedy in it, and
seriousness.
I mean, you can have a comedy because evidently the first one had comedy in it, but you also had those serious points where you had a lot of seriousness going on just to make the storyline a lot better because it complemented all the other stuff in the movie.
Exactly.
So you need a little seriousness and the comedy to balance things
and the
out.
romance because they had romance in there too.
Yeah, they had romance in there too. So
it was really balanced movie.
Yeah, it had everything that you needed to have in a movie, and this one it focused more on the comical factors of everything.
Serious scenes.
If they had it made a bit maybe two. Maybe two. When his father passed. And it was,
and that was even kind of comical too.
Yeah, it wasn't really that serious.
Like my husband said, he literally was standing up and was like, "I'm going to die now," and then put his head down and died.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird. This is super weird. Super weird.
I know we haven't actually touched on that part yet, but if you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. It was just unusual, and it wasn't serious enough for us.
Because the first one was a real good movie that everybody watched. I watch it all the time.
Yeah, I know for Coming to America, the first Coming to America, it was made in 1988. I was born in 1987. So, I mean, it was a while ago that the first Coming to America was actually made and, put out into theaters. However, it was a wonderful movie that, displayed black culture and gave us something to look up to.
Yeah. We
saw people that looked like us that were kings and queens and beautiful and celebrated.
Oh yeah, a lot of symbolism of our black culture, and I love the movie from top to bottom. I loved the concept of the prince and the king and him going to Brooklyn and trying to find his queen, which was a very good story. Had very good storytelling in my view. So, in this new movie, it's
a bit different. It's a couple things that overall we like the movie, but if you compare it to the first Coming to America, it's not really up. In our opinion, it's not up to par.
I think it's not fair for you to watch the first movie before you watch this one, because you would be really harsh on the new movie, because the new movie is it's similar but not to the same extent the old one is, because it has a lot of different stuff from the old one, where he has a son that he supposedly has now. I don't like that. I didn't like that character of the son. I didn't like the storyline.
Let me get more background.
Yeah, we are. You can tell about the movie though.
Some people haven't seen. Okay, so if you see, like you said, if you see the first movie, what we did is we've seen Come to America, the first one, plenty of times, but we decided to go ahead and rewatch the first Coming to America, just so it can like refresh in our brain what we loved about Coming to America, the different characters in Coming to America, so we knew what to look for in the second movie that just came out actually today, because today is Friday. Actually, it's Saturday now because it was early in the morning.
It's super late.
It's super late at night, but we watched the second Coming to America today, like during the afternoon time. And the things that we kind of picked out that we weren't really feeling were like the casting choices. So the people they chose to play different parts. We did like the fact that they brought back a lot of the old characters.
Yeah.
So if you saw, of course, you have Arsenio Hall that played Simi, and we were ecstatic to see him back. Of course, you had Eddie Murphy himself that played Prince Hakeem, and he became the king in the movie.
Right.
You had James Earl Jones, which is a prolific African American actor.
Right.
And I think he's in his 90s currently, if I'm not mistaken. And he came back very briefly in the movie to, reprise his role as King Joffrey Jr.
You also had John Amos on there, who is the father of the queen.
Lisa
McDowell. Lisa McDowell.
Mm-hmm.
That owns
McDowell's.
McDowell's. Which, if you look at the movie when it first comes on, they're gonna be showing they built a McDowell's and where's it? What's it? Zamunda. But the thing that's weird about it is like, okay, so you have that restaurant there, but it's right in the middle of where the animals are. So it's like, are the animals going to eat McDowell's or something? Like, it's kind of weird. And then they also had if you remember the parts where Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall play the people in the barbershop.
They came back.
You see that on the commercial. So those parts were really, really funny.
Mm-hmm. And came back as a preacher. Arsenio Hall came back as a preacher too, which I have a little bit to kind of talk about when it comes to that part as well. I remember in the first movie that the preacher himself was just funny, because he was just like, there's a God somewhere. And then of course you had the women in bathing suits on the stage turning around, and he was like, only God can make it like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like looking for something, for him to kind of go back to that same little, character or whatnot. But they kind of like degraded his part a little bit.
Yeah.
And they put him in like this really hokey looking church.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I don't know, it wasn't to the same degree. I don't know. I didn't like how they reprised his role, even though it was still Arsenio Hall, redoing his role, but it just didn't have the same feel to it. Not the same, comedic, I don't know, mastery to it or whatnot.
Because let me tell you about this part that they played in it, because it was a part where Eddie Murphy's dad was passing, and so he said that he wanted to see the funeral and go ahead and have it. And so they had the funeral while he was in the coffin. Like, listen, he was literally in the coffin on stage with everybody else. And like the coffin, they opened the coffin, he was standing up in the coffin like this. And I'm like, really? Like, and then they had like Gladys Knight come out and sing. They had Salt and Pepper, and then did they have somebody else? I want to say it was somebody else, but I can't remember.
One other artist.
I can't remember.
I forgot who exactly it was.
But and then after that, he was just. I think that, like my wife, told me before. After the movie, like she was telling me like the movie seemed kind of rushed because a lot of scenes kind of seemed short, which comes up to like the length of the movie, which is another thing that we dislike. We think that it should have been a little bit longer so that a lot of the story could be told the right way. Mm-hmm. A lot of stories were rushed, and so we couldn't really get into them like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't see the whole movie because I fell asleep like within.
Y'all, I tried to wake him up. I woke my husband up probably like maybe five times.
And I hate that.
I was like, wake up, babe, you're missing the movie.
I hate that I have to do that on a movie that I really wanted to see. Like I had really, me and my wife, we were like waiting like weeks. Months.
I put a reminder in my phone.
Yeah, like
so I would know that Friday was the day in March that it was coming out. So I would not miss it because like we just had a baby. And so I was like, oh my goodness, that's gonna come out right around the time that we'll be just pretty much getting home and settling in. I don't want to forget that this movie's coming out.
I'm trying to tell you because I was like, I was anticipating the movie. Like I'm like, man, this movie finna be on and popping. Not saying that. Don't get it twisted, y'all. We do like the movie.
Yes.
We like the movie.
We're just being we're being what do they call it?
We're critiquing it.
We're critiquing the movie. So, you can take what you will from it or whatnot, but yeah.
Because it wasn't a bad movie. Like I read a lot of reviews. A lot of people were saying that it was a bad movie.
Yeah, it was. That's one thing we forgot to mention. That we did actually look at, Facebook, and we looked at our family and friends and what they thought about it.
Right.
I personally didn't look at any official reviews. Did you look at any official reviews?
I didn't look at official reviews. I just looked at Facebook because it was just easier just to look that way. Mm-hmm. Because like a lot of times when new movies come out, like a bunch of my friends just go on there and they'll watch it early, and so they'll say what they think about it and how they feel. And I just go based off to what some of them say, and sometimes they're right 100%, and sometimes they're like a little off. It just depends on the movie. This movie was like half and half. I think that the movie was good, but it just had parts that lacked in character as far as like the stuff just didn't. It just seemed rushed. It didn't seem like it was put together completely.
Exactly, because we actually, when we rewatched the movie, we praised how well the script was written.
Yeah.
And how well it was put together, and the plot just how the plot was well connected. Everything was put in place, so it was just entertaining and understandable. But for this movie, I feel like if they would have put maybe like 30, I know the runtime for this movie was
hour 50.
Yeah, hour 50 minutes. And so we were like, they would have put like maybe 30, 45 more minutes on this movie. Because mind you, although some people are like, oh, that's long, but if you've seen movies like Lord of the Rings, Malcolm X, some movies just need to be a little bit longer.
And this is like 30 years.
Yeah, it's
30 years in the making.
Exactly, it's been 30 years.
It's something that you want to take your time with.
This movie came out literally the year after I was born. So, and we're all the way married with a whole baby.
Yeah.
So, that means that, people of our generation, we were looking for something of substance. I told my husband, I was like, listen, dude, if they put this movie out and they say, hey, y'all need to cost $30, we coming out with $30.
And see, that's the thing that really got me before we watched it.
Yeah, I was ready to pay for it.
Before I watched it and I noticed that it was free for Amazon Prime subscribers, I was like, oh my goodness, like this might not be what it is.
Yeah, because you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And so I remember when Mulan came out on Disney, because we have Disney Plus as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I ain't paying for no doggone Mulan. $30 for Mulan. We're gonna wait until Mulan is free on Disney Plus. But then when it finally became free on Disney Plus and we watched it, we were like,
oh, that Mulan was off the chain though.
Mulan was good. We would have paid for that.
It was good, man.
We would have paid for that. It was really good.
I would definitely pay for that.
And we waited months until it became free because we were like, who's gonna pay $30 for Mulan? But the movie actually was wonderful.
Actually kind of feel bad that we did pay $30 for
it. Did pay $30 for it.
It was worth it. It was well worth it.
It really was. And so I was like, man, they're having us pay $30 for a Disney Plus movie. I know they're going to have us pay $30 plus for
Coming to America.
I just knew it. And we kept checking and we were like, dang, is this free? Because we were kind of confused at first. We're like, is it free? Or are they saying that it's free for, Amazon Prime members? Because we are Amazon Prime members.
And then when it came on, it said the Amazon exclusive, right?
Mm-hmm. So the movie was actually, I guess, made at the Tyler Perry Studios, but was, I guess, I don't know.
I guess distributed through Amazon?
Distributed through Amazon is what we're thinking.
Or published through Amazon? I don't know.
Yeah, so, I don't know. All I'm saying is, I feel like casting could have been better.
Yeah.
I know we're going all over the place. We are going to hone this in, you guys. We're gonna hone it in as much as we can because it's just a lot.
I forgot they had Tracy Morgan in there too.
Yes, and Tracy Morgan was interesting.
He played the uncle of the son.
Yeah.
Which after you watch, it was an interview with Arsenio Hall. He said that that the original plan. Listen to this, guys. The original plan was for Tracy Morgan to be the son
of Eddie Murphy.
And
I'm trying to figure out. I'm just like, hold on now. Now Tracy Morgan, honestly, in my opinion, he looks a little older than Eddie Murphy.
He does look old. He looks real old. So
I don't know whether he is older or if they're of the same age.
He just couldn't play his son.
He just could not play his son. He couldn't play his son.
Point blank, period. He couldn't play it.
And I think that's the thing. And that's part of the thing that I didn't like about... Let me just stay with casting. So I won't keep on going back and forth. Okay, so we had the Prince. I wanted the Prince to be more princely, to be, I guess, more regal looking, and also to act in a more princely manner, to give us that black excellence that we felt when we saw, King Joffrey Jr. and Prince Akeem at the beginning of the movie for the first Coming to America. I wanted those type of feels. Also, you had Eddie Murphy himself that played Prince Akeem / King Akeem, and the issue I had with how he depicted himself is it's been 30 some years, okay? Yes, you are still the prince, but you also have 3 daughters and you are, married to the love of your life.
Right.
So, of course, as any man, any African man, any man period gets older, they're going to mature. They're going to come into their own. And so I feel like he should have been portrayed as a stronger character. They kind of put him in a place where he was like the underling of his father. Yeah. His father said that, he was spoiled, and because he was spoiled, he was a weak person or a weak man or a weak king.
And that kind of threw it off.
And that kind of threw it off, because I was like, hold on, this is a grown man, and I'm looking for him to have the same feeling that I got from you.
Right.
So when I saw King Joffrey Jr. in the first movie, Coming to America, and homeboy went to Queens, New York, he stepped out the car and he had the whole 3-piece suit on, his crown on, a lion across his doggone chest. I'm like, okay, we about to get the same feels from King Akeem, because he about to come out and just be confident and know who he is as a person, and he's going to have his own mindset when it comes to certain things, and he was not like that at all. It still felt like he was like the son of his father instead of being a king that was raised by another king.
Another thing that you mentioned that I just thought about that they took out was him having the flower people that were behind him, throwing the flowers in front of him. They showed a little bit of that,
but they didn't show it frequently like they did before. So, for instance, in the new Coming to America, when King Akeem got out the car, when he went back to Queens, New York to find his son, it was just like him and Simi sitting in the car, sitting in the limo. And before, the flower bearers had to get out first, and then they had to actually put the flowers down wherever they went. They had to throw the flowers down. It was not one flower woman
Not one.
Anywhere. And so it kind of took away. It took away that black excellence that we saw in the first movie.
Yeah.
Like I wanted it to be over the top, just like I saw in the first movie. And I think that's for me. That was my big disappointment. Like I wanted the same feeling that I got from the first movie.
It was like they were cutting corners.
Yeah, they were cutting corners in different places.
You know, like they were just like, well, we'll cut this out and then we'll put this here.
Yeah.
We'll cut that out and we'll put this here.
And then even also they didn't show like a driver, because remember in the first movie we actually saw the driver. The driver themselves were just clothed in kind of, it looks like kind of Ghana clothing or whatnot.
Yeah.
And they just looked like they were, you know, you can tell they were somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I mean, even though they were just a darn driver, they were somebody.
Exactly.
You know, they were connected to royalty, and they were not to be messed around with. Yeah. So that was kind of missing too, with the Prince Akeem / King Akeem's character. That same feeling we got from his father, that we knew that he was in a position of authority, and he was not to be challenged at all.
So let's go back to like how the movie is, like where the son, what he's trying to he figures out that he has a son by them telling him he had a fling when they went to the scene where he was in the club.
Yeah,
you know, where they were interviewing all the different women.
Like, so that part, it was like, my name is Peaches, and I'm the best. All the
they brought them back too. They brought them back too. That was dope though. That was dope though. They brought them back too at the end.
Yeah. So that part right there, just so you know, those of you that's like the bar scene, they went to a lot of places. That part right there when they had the twins coming there. So yeah, apparently what they did is they used CGI to basically impose a younger Simi and a younger Eddie Murphy in those particular parts, and they showed where basically Simi, he wanted to engage in sexual activity, period, point blank.
Yeah. And
so he knew in order for him to get anything, he had to make sure that Akeem got something.
Right.
And so he found two women, and one of them, she's a comedy actress. I forgot what her name is.
Her name is Leslie Jones.
Yes, Leslie Jones. Okay, so Leslie Jones, she is the woman that actually ended up sleeping with Akeem, and he doesn't recall it because basically he got high, in a nutshell.
Oh, hold on, baby. You gotta stop it.
Also, at the end of the movie, make sure you stay tuned because John Legend does sing My Queen to Be.
Oh, that was awesome too. That was really good.
A beautiful, like, I love John Legend.
He remixed that thing.
I love John Legend. And what we did talk about is, you know, with them having so many cameos from different celebrities, I think they should have taken a part of, you know, that 1988 movie, which is the singing of the Queen, My Queen to Be, and they could have made John Legend the son of the guy that actually sang that song.
I agree.
And had him actually do a cameo of, you know, I mean, not do a cameo, but actually, yeah, do a cameo. I was correct the first time. And like sing that song as they presented either the woman that Prince Lavelle actually married, or, you know, have him sing that right before, you know, Tiana Taylor was introduced. But I think it would have been more effective if it was the introduction of the person that Prince Lavelle actually married. It would have been a very special moment for any person that actually watched the 1988 movie. It would have been a very special moment because John Legend in his own right is an actual freaking legend.
Yeah.
And his voice is spectacular. So that's one thing that, you know, when I saw that, I was like, why would you put John Legend at the end? Why could you put that man in some good old African garb and put his behind the piano and let him do the dang on thing in the movie?
They could have.
I'm just saying, we're going to do cameos, let's do cameos. I'm sorry, baby Dallas.
But you guys go make sure that you watch the movie.
Yes.
And comment under this video and let us know what you think of the movie. Give us your opinion on it. Rate it from 1 to 10. Let us know what you think. And let us know if you want us to do more of these review videos, because we love
doing the reviews. Like,
we love it.
Really, like when we do in-depth reviews, we're gonna be like the devil's advocate. We're gonna play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, we got to.
We can't just like be like, oh yeah, it's 100% awesome. We have to let you know the ins and outs of the movie.
Yeah.
So even though we definitely say watch the movie, you know, when you're watching it, you can kind of feel if you know, tell us if you feel the same way, pretty much.
True. So you guys stay tuned. We'll have more videos like this, and like I said, go watch the movie. All right, peace.